Welcome to the Cryptonomatron, and today I'm doing another ICO review. This time it's on ImmVRse. ImmVRse is a platform, a virtual reality platform that content contributors can post material and creators can put their videos in virtual reality format up on the platform. Much like DTube, it's going to be decentralized. You're going to get rewarded for your content creation, and it will also provide an opportunity for clients to find content creators as well. So it's a very interesting concept. It's futuristic, obviously. We have the blockchain, we have virtual reality, we have content creation, all wrapped into one. So let's take a look at it. Let's get down to it, boppers. So the competition really falls into two categories. It falls into the decentralized media platforms such as DTube, Steemit, another type of video blogging websites and platforms. Obviously, the difference with ImmVRse is they're going to be doing the videos and the content in VR, or augmented reality, or mixed reality, I think is the other one. So they're not exactly the same as what's available at the moment. And, you know, I'm mentioning DTube and similar websites because that's as close as we can get to real competitors at the moment. There are obviously the other virtual reality platforms that are available that have emerged late last year, VibeHub being one of them. Also, Seek is going on ICO quite soon. I reviewed that. If you want to look through back through my videos and find it, it's there. And there's also a few others that are using virtual reality to build their own worlds, and you can interact within those worlds. Two off the top of my head are Decentraland with the Mana token, and also Districts as well. So virtual reality is becoming more and more common, whilst none of these are really competitors for ImmVRse, because ImmVRse are suggesting doing something that's completely unique, I believe, so far, in that they are going to have a content creation platform in virtual reality for virtual reality creators, which makes it unique and sets it aside from all the other virtual reality projects and indeed even media platforms that are currently available. Now, as virtual reality gets more and more popular and is used more and more, which it will happen, as you all know, I'm very bullish on virtual reality. I have been for a long time. And as it gets used more and more, then the mainstream platforms like YouTube, and even the decentralized ones like Steam and DTube and so on will try and move their content towards a 360 or a virtual reality model as well, because that's what demand will require. So it's interesting to see a project attempting this so early on in the life of virtual reality, because it's still a very, very new technology. So it will be very interesting to see how it stacks up against the competition eventually when they realize that virtual reality is going to be a very popular media platform. So let's look at the problems that they want to solve. And first off, there's not enough content creators on any one platform. Now, Facebook and YouTube both support virtual reality or 360-degree content, but there's not enough content creators on any one platform, making it possible for this to take off. Another problem is current media sharing platforms are entirely dominated by 180-degree or 2D video content. The most popular ones, of course, are YouTube, and then even DTube on a decentralized network are completely dominated by 2D video. And another issue is only a few top-tier influencers are paid well enough. On YouTube, there's been a lot of complaints over the last few months and even years about people not getting rewarded enough for their content creation, and even if they are part of the monetization, where adverts are running on their channel, they don't get paid enough to make it even worthwhile. So only the really top tier influencers or video creators get the just rewards, and really that's not fair. So another issue, of course, is the equipment to film VR is expensive, and it's also hard to obtain as well. It's not like you can walk into your local camera shop and buy it. It's quite specialized still. There's also a lack of copyright protection with the current 360-degree media, and that needs to be addressed. Also, ImmVRse reckon that growth of virtual reality and 360-degree content requires dedicated VR platforms for it to grow and succeed, because it's still in competition with 2D. Then it's more likely people are going to watch and still retain and watch the 2D content rather than watching the 3D. So if it's going to grow, if it's going to succeed, it needs a dedicated platform to do so. And current platforms are centralized, and that brings with it problems, lack of transparency, lack of trust, lack of security, lack of privacy, etc., etc. Everything that centralization is not conducive towards, then any centralized platform will be guilty of that. So having a decentralized platform will give you added security. It will give you an ability to interact on a blockchain ecosystem as well, that's fair, transparent, and obviously on the immutable ledger, you can see all the transactions have been performed accordingly, and it has so many advantages over a centralized system. I could be here quite a long time to list them all, but suffice it to say that a decentralized platform for any media content is certainly the way forward, not least of all in terms of censorship. Decentralized platforms cannot be censored. They're censorship resistant. And another thing is as well that the owners of the platform don't decide what content gets or what content producers even get to upload on them. Because it's decentralized, anybody that has been verified can go on and put their content on it. So it's open to all, and it's certainly more fair and free. So ImmVRse are going to be the first decentralized and distributed video platform for virtual reality. They're going to allow content creators, brand names, advertisers, and other clients that want 360-degree or virtual reality content to interact with each other, so content creators get paid and clients can pay using the token on a blockchain ecosystem. They will focus primarily on virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. So it will take the media to another level over and above what's already available. So just before we progress to the market section, let's talk about virtual reality for just a second. Now, I'm very bullish on this technology. I say it in every video, and I will continue to be so. The reason being is I can see the future in my crystal ball, and the future will contain or be contained in even virtual reality worlds. And one of the steps towards this future is going to be virtual reality content creation, media in virtual reality, virtual reality platforms. At the moment, we've got the headsets like Oculus Rift, etc., that you can put on and experience virtual reality in a sort of in a sort of primitive form, if you like. But in the future, you will be able to immerse yourself completely in these virtual reality worlds, and the content creation will be the first step towards the virtual reality experience. And so once we move away from the 2D models that we've already got at the moment, we've got television, we've got videos, we've got other content creation that's available. We'll move away from that in the future to 3D modeling and almost like holographic images and things like that. So virtual reality is going to eventually take over. I've no doubt about that. And especially it will be important for businesses such as civil construction, maybe healthcare, that type of thing. Many use cases for it over and above 2D technology, so it's a lot more useful. And there are different types of virtual reality. This is what I wanted to explain in this chapter. I'm getting a little bit carried away, but if we could just break it down, there are 4 main core types that ImmVRse say, and they are 360-degree video. And we've all seen those on Facebook. A view in every direction is recorded at exactly the same time, and you can view it from any angle. So you turn your phone around or you move your phone, and it moves in the direction that the phone's going. So it gives you an idea that it's 360 degrees. Then you've also got computer generated virtual reality, which is CGVR, and it's the synthetic version of a 360 degree video. So it's basically the same, but it's using computer generated or computer rendered images rather than photography. Then you have augmented reality, and that is an overlay of content on the real world, but content is not anchored to it. So the real world content and the CG, the computer generated content, is not able to respond to each other. And then you have mixed reality, which is an overlay of the synthetic content on the real world that is anchored to and interacts with the real world. So there's the 4 different types there. And depending on, I guess, the application will dictate what type is relevant to what you're trying to film. So virtual reality, the market for it, it's already quite large, but it's going to grow exponentially over the next few years. As the technology improves, as more people start to realize and use it, and as more and more content is created, the growth of the market is going to be phenomenal, I think, in the next few years. So they have done a little bit of market research in the white paper, which is good to see. And they have a forecast here by Goldman Sachs, our favorite cryptocurrency nemesis, and they indicate that virtual reality technology has the capability to grow into a $90 billion industry by 2025, and I think that's probably on track. Zuckerberg has invested $2 billion into a virtual reality startup in 2014. You know, and it's growing exponentially now. People can see the real world use cases for virtual reality over and above just the entertainment value of it all. But entertainment will probably be the driving force behind the adoption of it. You know, watching videos, watching content, watching your favorite pop stars, as Seek, another virtual reality platform, are aiming to allow people to do using their cheap headset. So entertainment will drive it, but it has so many other applications that, you know, we're talking about a multi-billion dollar market here. And this is an interesting you know, attempt to get a bit of the market that hasn't really been realized yet. There isn't a dedicated platform for virtual reality content, whether that be 360 degrees, you know, filming, or computer generated filming, or augmented reality, or even the mixed reality we spoke about. There isn't a platform that is going to be dedicated solely towards that. So that's very, very interesting. And that could potentially be a multi-billion dollar market in the near future. So the white paper does list some of the potential uses for virtual reality, including healthcare. You know, they mentioned therapy as one of the uses for it, and yeah, you could see how that would be applicable, because if you're scared of public speaking or flying or heights or anything, you can actually use the virtual reality to give people the sensation of being in a situation that they're not comfortable about. Also in education, you know, you can be taught through virtual reality, and again, I've seen from my engineering days, I've seen some virtual reality systems for crane operation, you know, heavy lifts, real technical and critical applications for it that allow crane drivers and other personnel to experience what it's like to operate the machinery without actually doing it in the real world, which again, it's more safe. It gets you the training you require before you actually go and operate the equipment. So there's, you know, no need for test runs which endanger plant and personnel. So another use for it would be tourism as well. You can look through, you know, look instead of looking at photos on Agoda or Booking.com and see it, and, you know, thinking, oh, that hotel looks rather nice. You could put on your virtual reality headset, go to one of the websites and actually walk through the hotel yourself using virtual reality. Again, advertising, yeah, you know, it's going to be massive in virtual reality. Even in these decentralized virtual worlds that are being launched on ICO now, there will be advertising within those worlds. So if you interact in these worlds, you will see adverts for real-world brand products in these virtual worlds. So another amazing use. I mean, you know, like I say, I'm very, very bullish on this technology. I keep saying it, but I really am, because it really is going to be the future. Films and videos, another another use as well. Of course, films and videos will be more immersive. Games will be more immersive. You know, all the entertainment that we're used to will be much, much more immersive and much more real in the comfort of your own home using the virtual reality technology. Anyway, just to end this chapter on the market scale, you know, we're looking at a potential $1.6 billion market at the moment, and you know, a lot of the displays are you know, these cardboard Google smartphone-based device. You slot your smartphone in and watch it through these sort of lenses. But as the future comes to us, we will see hardware like the Oculus Rift getting smaller, more accessible, cheaper, more affordable. You know, we're in the very early stages of this. And just to give you another figure here, you know, they think that the virtual reality and augmented reality industry will grow from 5.2 billion in 2016 to $162 billion in 2020. So this is a industry that's growing rapidly. And while it's in its infancy at the moment, it's certainly worth looking at as a potential long-term investment. So the blockchain they're going to use is the Ethereum blockchain. The token is unsurprisingly an ERC20 Ethereum token as well. So you'll be able to store it on any ERC20 compatible wallet. The ecosystem is shown here in this infographic. It just illustrates all the interactions between the tokens. You see the ImmVRse DApp, decentralized application, on the blockchain at the top there, and all the token usages as it interacts. And as you can see, you've got the content creators who will create the virtual reality content, and the advertisers who will pay or sponsor the content in the middle. And then as content creators, you'll be able to transfer your earnings to the wallet. Viewers will also get the IMV token as a form of payment for interacting on the ecosystem. So they will get a percentage of the advertiser's payment. And this will increase the usage and the demand. And in essence, it will incentivize viewers on the platform, which is good. And you know, they will also be able to store their tokens in the ImmVRse wallet as well. So advertisers will pay and buy content or pay for services on the store, and they will basically be able to hire content creators, if you like, to make content for them. And brands will also be able to buy the token to pay advertisers and pay for jobs and services as well. So in a nutshell, that's how it's going to work. Referring back to the white paper again, the ImmVRse network in detail is a network architecture. It consists of the token, the wallet, the VRT protocol, and also the DApp as well, the decentralized application, which has two parts to it, the decentralized engine and also the user retention engine. So the token is a bespoke ERC20 standard token that will be used as the fuel within the ecosystem for transactions to buy and sell content, etc. The protocol is the ledger where they monitor everything, so it's all recorded. The DApp consists of two parts, and it will be the application that you can hire your content creators and also for people to advertise and receive awards for interacting with the application. The decentralized engine they mention here is being developed to connect all of the users within the platform, and the user retention engine is specifically being designed to retain users within the ecosystem, essentially to incentivize users to keep using it and come on board as well. So by utilizing smart contracts, it means they can have a peer-to-peer payment service and also make sure there's no third parties involved, so everything will be automated on the ecosystem. The file distribution system they're going to use is IPFS, and this gives the benefit of storing the files in a decentralized manner. And basically what happens is the files are then hashed onto the blockchain, so they are recognized on the blockchain as a hash rather than as a full file, which obviously would be too bloated. And they're also going to have a decentralized retention engine, which they're going to allow to balance the circulating supply of the tokens to stabilize unpredicted volatility, but also more importantly to retain the users on the platform. So if you're a user, you will get rewarded for interacting, liking, commenting, etc. Much like the Steam blog platform at the moment. So it encourages users to actually use the platform, engage with content creators and brands, and that's very important. So the other thing I want to mention briefly in the tech section is the meritocracy that this platform is going to provide. And what I mean by that is it's going to reward content creators that get involved. So there will be monthly content rewards, creator rewards, there will be endorsement badges, creators badges, and so on. And as you can see here, there will be tiers. So the more that you put into this platform, the more you will get rewarded, and therefore the more recognized you will become among potential clients such as advertisers or brands that look to hire people to produce content. So that's just another nice feature that will ensure that the cream will rise to the top here, and it will hopefully help to eliminate a lot of the people that don't really add any value to the platform as well. So there's going to have to be some sort of revenue stream coming in for ImmVRse to actually continue maintaining the platform. And this is going to be in terms of a percentage from hiring the content creator. So the fees they say for a content creator will be between $3,000 to $50,000, depending on the quality of the content creator that they're going to engage with. Then there will be a content creator tier. So if you want to take part in it, you'll have to pay a monthly fee. There will be revenue generated from that as well, and that will be from, say, about $5.99 a month up to $10.99 a month. And then there's another interesting idea I see here. They want to actually charge for an academy that will have tutorial videos with more experienced virtual reality content creators with hints, tips, and you know, education about filming and so on and so forth. So that sounds quite exciting and is a little additional extra for you know, people interested in getting involved with this platform. And you know, it's relevant because not a lot of people will have filmed in 360 or virtual reality before. So what does the token actually do? Well, we discussed it very briefly in the blockchain section. You will, as an advertiser, be able to buy the IMV token to pay for adverts, and a portion of the profit from that will be distributed to the content producers and also the users, the content viewers. Users will receive the IMV token as a form of payment for watching videos on the platform. Viewers can store their tokens in the ImmVRse wallet or sell them on the exchanges, you know, Bitrex, Binance, etc. Brands will be able to search via the decentralized search engine and hire or recruit content producers through ImmVRse and pay them with a token. The companies will be able to pay for jobs using the IMVs and also Ethereum, it should be noted, and crypto traders, hedge funds and financial services will be able to trade ImmVRse tokens via multiple exchanges, again, Bitrex, Binance and the usual platforms. So there's the token use for you. It does actually provide an incentive for users to get on the platform and to actually continue using the platform, and also it provides the incentive for content creators, which will be important for going forward. So we can say that the token utility here, the token usage, is actually very good and lends itself to the actual platform. So the project looks legitimate. There are no apparent red flags for this. If you do know of any, please post below and I'll check them out. But as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't find any red flags. The team looks legit. The company's properly registered. The plans are all well defined. So yeah, no red flags. So token sale details are quite sketchy at this stage. There is going to be an announcement in due course in about 14 days. You can apply for the whitelist just now, so, so that you don't miss anything should you decide to participate in this project. There will be KYC checks. At the moment, I don't know whether US citizens can actually take part. I'll try and inform you in the comments if I find out that's the case or not. At the moment, one IMV token equals 20 cents. There will be a maximum total supply of 300 million IMV tokens. The ICO hard cap is set at 20 million US, and the Ether price obviously still to be decided nearer the time of the ICO. Now, distribution is as follows. 33.33% or 100 million IMV tokens of the total supply of 300 million will be distributed during the ICO. A large percentage, 52.7%, will be retained as a form of capital reserve, and the tokens will be distributed as follows: 52% for the capital reserve, 10% for team and advisors, 4% to bounty and rewards, and 33.33% will be distributed during the ICO. So the ICO event, the tokens will be distributed as follows: 20% of the 100 million to private investors, another 20% for pre-ICO participants, and 60% of 100 million, so 60 million tokens, will be distributed during the crowd sale or the main sale. So ImmVRse are having a bounty campaign, and as usual, there are rules to follow. They are allocating 5 million of the IMV tokens, that's 1.7% of the total supply for the bounty campaign. It began on the 12th of February and it's going to last 17 weeks, right through the ICO period. 20% will be allocated for the Telegram group, 20% to the social media promotion, 25% for signature campaign, 10% for translations, and 25% for content creation. You have to fill in the form to participate. Takes you back to the website, asks you all your information, and then you have the different rules to follow depending on what campaign you're going in for. As usual, I will leave the link to the bounty campaign below in the description, and for full disclosure, I will probably submit this video to the bounty campaign in the end. So the roadmap is quite long. They are working on an MVP at the moment. It's currently under development, or at least it was in Q4 2017. They estimate that the protocol development is underway and it's estimated to be complete by Q4 2018. So moving into Q1 2018, they are marketing now. They're going to have the pre-ICO. They're going to launch the ICO. Q2 2018, they're going to release the tokens. Q3 2018, they're going to hire a full DevOps team and hopefully launch the alpha version that we can get to trial. There will be a marketing campaign that will intensify during that period as well. Q4 2018, they're going to expand into the EU and Asia and hire more or manage more DevOps as a result. They will launch the alpha by Q4 2018 as well. Moving into Q1 2019, Phase 2 will commence, and that will mean the ecosystem will get established and the protocol will be established. ImmVRse tokens will be usable within the application ecosystem. So we've got quite a long, about a year's wait until we see the proper ecosystem functioning, and before brands and advertisers will actually be able to purchase the tokens to recruit the content creators. Continued research and development will happen in Phase 2 as well, and then Phase 3, which will begin in Q2 2019, will include a DevCon, which will be a global hackathon to gather talented blockchain developers, and then there will be a full version launch sometime, I would estimate probably in about mid-2019. Let's take a look at the team here. No fake profiles here. Everybody's established on LinkedIn, and they all mention this project ImmVRse on their LinkedIn as well. Now, What is important to note is that Farabi, the co-founder and CEO, is quite young. He's not very experienced. He has some blockchain cryptocurrency experience, however, which goes in his favor. And he's also taken it upon himself to learn Solidity, the programming language for Ethereum. So that's very interesting indeed. He's obviously keen. He's got the bit between his teeth. And I like to see people that are keen and you know, want to get involved, and you know, especially in their own projects, taking a leading role in them. So that's very enthusing. Limon is co-founder and CEO, and he is the entrepreneur and angel investor. So he brings a little bit of entrepreneurial and investment experience here. And between the two of them, they already have this other company called Virtualize. We talked about them in the partner section. So they've been involved with VR for about a year. Now, where this team is let down is overall, they're not the strongest team, but they also don't have any really heavy hitters in the virtual reality space. You know, somebody from Oculus on board, or somebody that would give it the brand name behind it. It would have been nice to see. However, that's not the case. You know, but I think overall the team is very complimentary. They're obviously all involved with the project. There's no fake profiles here. And same if we scroll down to the advisory body. Again, competence in their different fields, you know, is a key here. And also they are all bringing something different to the table. I would say if I had to pick somebody as the sort of, you know, most standout, I would pick Shahad. He's an advisor for the blockchain development, and he has been a process specialist and blockchain advisor with the UK Export Finance for the UK government. So he knows quite a lot about the subject. And if I had to pick somebody, it would probably be him. Again, we don't really have anybody, with the exception of Hugh Tonks, that has been involved with virtual reality in the advisory body. So that, you know, they're really lacking in that area, I feel. But it's you know, it's a question: can they implement? Well, they're obviously working as you know, on the development of the MVP. So hopefully they can, and hopefully we can see something solid from them in due course. So their partnerships include the Imperial College of London, who I believe they are involved with medical research and VR, and Kingston University in London, Initialize Capital, and also Virtualize. Now, it's important to point out Virtualize as this is the parent company, so to speak, from the CEO and co-founders and the COO, and they've been involved in this Virtualize company, which is basically a company that films stuff for clients. And if we can take a look at their website, it says here they are a marketing intelligence lead virtual reality media production agency. They create beautiful 360-degree videos compatible for VR headsets and incorporate marketing intelligence into the creation. So they're involved in actually making the videos as well, rather than only the blockchain platform that we've been looking at in this review video. So that's quite interesting. However, they'll need to do a little bit better with their web design, in my opinion. The websites are both clunky, take ages to load, and really frustrating to use. So community support seems to be building for this project quite nicely. There are 1,257 followers on Twitter, and they have a 99% audit score from a couple of weeks ago. They've been getting a lot of followers now, and the same is true on their Telegram group. They have over 6,000 members. So there is a solid support for this project in the community. And again, the ICO is quite far off, so they could grow this really, really, you know, they could hype this up really well before the ICO. So yeah, it's very good to see signs of a healthy and flourishing project. So verdict time now, and let's see what positives are in this ICO first of all. So number one, they have a real token utility. The token will benefit anybody who uses the platform. You'll have to use the token to participate in the platform as a client or as an advertiser, as a brand, to hire the content creators. And also, content creators will get the tokens as a reward, as will the users for partaking in the ecosystem, liking posts, liking content, that type of thing. So it has a real utility. Number two, this is a unique idea and concept. You know, having the virtual reality, the 360-degree filming, the content creation in this field on a platform, like a social platform, is a unique idea. I don't think they've got any direct competition as a result. And number three, the concept has been well thought out and presented. The material is very simple. The ideas have been put forward in a very easy to understand manner, especially some of the more technical aspects of the project, such as the workflows. You know, they've been presented beautifully in these lovely infographics. So that's nice to see. Number four, there seems to be a good community support getting behind this project, and as a result, hype is now building, and we're still quite far away from the ICO proper, so that's a very good sign indeed. Number five, the ecosystem incentivizes users to stay and participate, and not only does it do that, but it also will be a meritocracy, as I said before. So the best content creators, the people that are putting their heart and soul into this platform, will get rewarded accordingly, and that's what you want to see. Separate the wheat from the chaff. Now, you know, if you look at platforms like Steam, it's often the case that there's a lot of rubbish, gets a lot of rewards, people just clicking on it, liking it, and it, you know, it isn't the case that the best content producers get the largest rewards. So, you know, hopefully with this type of ecosystem that ImmVRse want to implement, we will see the better content creators get the best rewards. Number six, they already have a virtual reality business, filmmaking in 360 and virtual reality. So that means they've got existing revenue already, and they've obviously noticed that they could possibly make even more revenue by implementing this platform on the blockchain. So that's always a good thing to see a company's already got revenue coming in. Number seven, another positive that I see is this project has a fairly low token price. 20 cents for a token, given the relatively low supply of 300 million total and 100 million for the crowd sale, is a fairly low price indeed. And again, that will be conducive to the fairly low hard cap of $20 million that this project is implemented. Number nine, I mentioned it before, but there is a lack of competition in this space. You know, other companies that are doing VR, like VibeHub, Decentraland, that type of thing, you know, they're not in direct competition. They may be utilizing virtual reality technology, but this is a completely different concept. And as such, they may well become pioneers in this field, much like Steam have for decentralized blogging. But as all projects have negatives, let's discuss them here. And the ones that I uncovered while I was reviewing this project, I believe that more care could have been taken with the presentation. They really need to sort out their website issues. The websites take far too long to load, they're bloated, and they're not that nice either. The design isn't really that great. In addition to that, I noticed there are spelling mistakes in the material. And also, they could do with somebody that knows about typesetting, and what I mean by typesetting is just layout of the whole thing needs to be a lot better, including some paragraphs in the white paper too. Number two was a negative, and that is the no all-stars on the team. There isn't any real all-star people on the team or the advisory body, and I think it's just lets them down slightly in that regard. Number three, yeah, it's maybe a little bit too early for this project. You know, this project in 5-10 years time, it might be a absolute slam dunk. It might be a winner. I'm just thinking it's maybe just too early, as the technology is very, very young. It's in its infancy, and you know, is there a demand for a platform in VR yet? I'm not so sure there is. Number four, it's still very expensive for equipment, and equipment is still too complicated to ensure this gets mass adoption. You know, yeah, we're seeing cell phones now coming with the technology that we can, you know, film in 360 degrees, sorry. So yeah, it's coming, But yeah, you know, the real good stuff, it's still a bit too early, I think. And again, it's a bit of a concern that the equipment is expensive. Even a mobile phone that can do this kind of thing, you know, you're going to have to go top of the range here. And again, that's going to inhibit mass adoption, I think. And as such, I think that it's going to be a struggle to find good content creators. I hope I'm wrong, because you know, as usual, I like my virtual reality projects. We've been through this before, but I think it's, you know, you're going to struggle to find the large amount of content creators that this project will need to get it right up there. Number 6, lack of a working MVP always hurts projects, and again, I mark them down accordingly. If I could see a working MVP or some sort of working product, I would have rated this a lot higher. Number 7, this is a negative. It's an ambitious plan. It is very, very ambitious. And as I've always said to you guys, right, look at when you're investing in a project. If the plan is very, very ambitious, it's going to be a lot more difficult to implement. If something's simple, but it's a surefire winner, then you know, that's the kind of projects that I like. I like something that's not too complicated and that we can see implemented quite easily. This is very, very ambitious. You know, kudos to the team for having such ambitious plans. But again, the more complex it becomes, the more difficult implementation becomes. Number 8, it's a vague and fairly long roadmap. So if you're looking to get in on this project and flip it, you know, the token metrics make sense. You might get some return on flipping, but I think this one's more of a longer term investment. But I didn't like the fact they were quite vague in their roadmap, and it's lengthy as well, right to, you know, mid 2019 to see the project rolled out in full. So all that being said, this is my final verdict. As usual, and if I mention I'm bullish on virtual reality, I don't think I have in this video, but anyway, I'm very bullish on virtual reality tech startups. This one's no exception. I like this project. I think it could be a winner. It's certainly a pioneer in its field because it's unique. It loses a couple of stars because of a lack of MVP and some other niggles as well that I had with it. But overall, yep, I'm still bullish on it. I like it. Will I be investing in it? Very possibly. I you know, as I say, I like my VR tech, and as I'm a hodler, I'm a longer-term investor. I always look to the future. I'm not looking really to flip on projects straight away. I like putting money in, letting it mature, and this project looks as if it could be one to watch in the future. And certainly, if they can get you know, an alpha out there, wow, you know, it would have scored a hell of a lot higher, as I said, but you know, it really could set a marker down in the sand for similar projects. So yeah, it's unique. It doesn't have any direct competition, so I'm bullish on it. I am. So thanks for watching, guys. As usual, I have to say this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. If you're going to invest in any ICOs, please be advised that you know, they pose inherent risk. It's not a guarantee of making any money. Always do your own research. Always do your own due diligence. Don't listen to what us YouTubers tell you. You've got to do it for yourself, guys. Yeah, you've got to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and find out whether a project is right for you. And of course, never invest more than you can afford to lose in any investment, not only ICOs, but in any cryptocurrency investment in particular. Bear in mind, you know, the volatility of cryptocurrency as well. You know, what's up one day may be down the next. And we've seen that this year in particular, you know. So thanks for watching. I'll come back tomorrow with another ICO review. I have one already planned. And again, it should be quite interesting. It's not really that well known, the one I'm doing tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be able to bring it to the fore. But it's very interesting and certainly worthy of taking a closer look at. So again, thanks for watching, peeps, and I will be back tomorrow.